gardeners, last year's drought was a real eye-opening experience. Plants that were maybe once perceived as tough and drought tolerant, we ended up finding dead in the landscape. Even plant material that was in the garden for a long time, many years, was just up and dying from the excessive heat and lack of moisture in the garden. I'm going to talk about a couple different trees that I feel are going to be tough, drought-tolerant selections for the landscape. When I think of tough, the first tree that comes to mind is oak. And whether it's a bur oak, red oak, swamp white oak, there's lots of good choices out there in the landscape. I just planted an oak tree in my backyard, a heritage oak, which is a cross between a bur oak and an English oak. And I'm going to be really excited to see how that is going to handle the conditions from the years going forward. For shrubs, of course, there's the barberry and the roses that work really well in the landscape, but I'm going to talk about a couple other different shrubs I think would work really well too. The viburnum genus, lots of different kinds of viburnums in there. A lot of them are going to be drought tolerant, water resistant. A couple that I've been using a lot in my designs is the Alleghany Vibernum, which is one of the leatherleaf viburnums, has a really long, thick, rugose leaf, a really nice texture, really makes a bold statement in the landscape. Another one of the viburnums that I've been using a lot is the Arrowwood Viburnums, though I tend to use those in areas that receive a little more irrigation. They're adaptable to both dry and wet soils. Of course, some of the sumacs work really well in the landscape too. Tiger eye sumac is a nice introduction that's going to offer a chartreuse colored foliage and a really nice texture in the landscape. Another nice native introduction, a great alternative to a ground cover, is the Pawnee Butte Sandcherry. Has a really nice white flower in the springtime, a low growing habit, and just really makes a really nice statement in the landscape for a low growing shrub. With placement of these plants, a couple things we want to take into consideration is it an irrigated site versus a non-irrigated site? Actually, we can overwater a plant and it can cause just as much damage, if not more, as lack of water. So in a non-irrigated area, I tend to put some of these trees where we can catch a little supplemental runoff, maybe in root of a downspout or a gentle slope where we can catch some rain. By using proper placement of trees, the right selection of them, we can avoid that dreaded phrase of rogue it out.